And we're back here at ASU Preparatory Fields, Game 3 of the Little Dingys season. Fresh off 2 losses, their most recent one to the Blue Jays, 23-14 last week. They're back to face the Bozos here at ASU Preparatory Fields. I'm Mahirson Hassan. Thanks for tuning in on this Monday night, a little bit later than usual. It's around 8 o'clock here in Phoenix compared to the 7 o'clock start times from earlier. Jack McCarthy will be your leadoff for today. And with that, away we go. First pitch up in the air, and this one is right at the fence. And that one should be a ground rule double, or rather it will hit the wall. Now it should be a ground rule double.
Go to second. Go to second.
That's been the rule all along. Whether it rolls into the concrete there or if it hits the fence, ground rule double. So just like that, Jack McCarthy starting off the Little Dingys with the hit, already in scoring position as Jacob Mitkoff, your second, will chip this right, go to the pitcher, tries to grab it, he bobbles, and he's not even going to make the throw off in time. Call that a hit or call that an error, probably 2 or 3 in the way it looked like. You're going to have Abe Mogelson now up to bat. So round and round we go. Again, some changes, but Abe Mogelson has remained in the 3 spot throughout this entire season. Props to head coach Eric Matsumoto for setting it up. Here's Abe. He sends this one deep to left field. Bye-bye baseball. A 3-run shot for Abe Mogelson. That being his 3rd home run of the year. Jack scores, Jacob scores, and the Little Dingys are up 3-0 here in the top of the first. And if you can look there in the distance, I'll try to zoom in on it if possible. That is your power bat over there. If I ever get an at-bat this season, that is going to be my bat because I cannot swing for anything. And speaking of head coach Eric Matsumoto, here he is. Got a chance to interview him for a package I was doing for my sports multimedia class. Turned out pretty well. This one inside, but Eric decides to chip it, grab by the 3rd, throw to first in time. So there's your first out of the day for the Bozos. Again, 2 teams coming into this one with different projections, but both teams did not get a win last week. The Bozos tied Enjoys in the outfield 8-all, and as I mentioned, the Little Dingys lost 23-14, giving up a 14-run last inning as Henry clips this into the outfield, and he'll nestle at first base for a single. And there's the beater man himself, Phineas Hogan. Of course, Finn, I did mention this, Gianna Barker will be your catcher today, so you won't hear the shenanigans of Finn, as Phineas will take a bat, decides to clip it up. Will that be foul? It's foul for now, and actually they're going to call it foul. But he's caught, so he's out. Great work there, so 2 outs down, and Gianna now heads up if you're just tuning in. 3-0, the Little Dingys lead, courtesy of another 3-run shot by Abe Mogelson. Of course, if you checked out my Twitter, or if you even saw on TikTok, you saw that was possible. Here's Gianna now, flip to second is good, as Henry is out. And there's the end of the first. 3-0, the Little Dingys lead. Started off 1-2-3 as Jack, Jacob, and Abe all got hits.
I'm loving the outfit today. Looks good.
Thanks, Finn. You too.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh.
So now the Little Dingys are back in the outfield. That was a concern late in the game last time out, starting off with their pitcher, Luke Foster. Of course, there has been some speculation. We could see Marissa Schleeper be pitcher sometime this year. But nonetheless, a good spot and a good show so far from Foster and crew this year. I'm playing around with the lighting here, just trying to make it a little bit lower. Kind of give a little bit of a Fenway Park vibe here at ASU Preparatory Fields. So as I mentioned, Luke Foster will be your pitcher, and I misspoke. Finn Hogan is still your catcher of the day. He will still be bringing your antics as he is there in the white beater.
Antics.
It's debatable. It's debatable. Balls roll over to the backstop. Just right in front of me. And away we go. So here's your third baseman who was playing out in the top of the first. Ended up doing pretty well. He'll be disciplined there to take it for a ball. So already something pretty interesting. We saw the Little Dingys, whenever they got their first pitch, they decided to swing at it, and we saw it for every single player. Much different approach for the Bozos. This one will be swung up. This one up in the air, and Luke's got it. He was working on some fielding beforehand, and this time he comes up big. 1 out down as we have another batter up to the plate. That one just too short. Again, wasn't ideal of Foster. He was pitching, and then you have to give credit to Gianna and Marissa, who were also there cheering him on. He started to become a little bit more accumulated, or you know what I want to say, but he has definitely become more well-versed in the ideal of being a pitcher.
Come on, Luke.
2-0. Outside, and that's ball 3. So first time we see someone from the Bozos on base. Again, if there's one thing in this team, that is the Bozos, it is the fact that they have not scored that many runs compared to the Little Dingys. The Little Dingys have scored an average of 13 runs. I was going to say 13.5. As this one is clipped, it is a fair ball, as here comes our man in the navy blue shirt. Henry trying to throw. Our navy blue man heads towards home, and he will hold. Hold on. He's caught in a trap. And it's actually your captain. You've got 2 guys there, and now there's a mix-up in the middle. Now there's a chance to throw to home, and both guys are safe. I hate to sound it like this, but the Little Dingys just pulled a Pittsburgh Pirates. They could have gotten one guy in a trap and in a rundown. They didn't get either guy in a rundown. Only 1 out, and now it's a 1-run game. So chance for more maybe, as this one is clipped. This one, though, is fouled down the left field line.
That's only my first? I didn't eat enough Wheaties this morning to do it. Any more out of you and it's
0-1. This one is clipped up. Henry and Jack trying to get it. Neither person gets it, as our batter nestles in at first. And I repeat it again. You had Eric, who has been playing second base this entire season. He is playing right, but nonetheless, he did talk about fielding. He did talk about communication. This one clipped up to the middle. Who's got it? Ian's got it. So 2 outs. Little Dingys once again in the lead. And now we have this guy coming up to the plate. This guy's a freshman. He's at Taylor Place. He's got some hops, too, at first base. Saw him in the pregame for this. This one's inside, but it's a little swing and a miss. Might have been thinking of sending that yard. Had to rethink that for the moment. 0-1. Outside.
Go, Luke.
Luke Foster, of course, from Indiana, has been living in Phoenix, graduated from Brophy College Prep, just up the road from here. As that one just evades the plate, it's going to be 2-1, as our batter has now become more disciplined.
Put some mustard on it.
Mustard's good, so is ketchup. Relish, kind of mid. Ball 3, and now you have 2 runners on base. Two runners on base. Tying run at second, leading run at first, and an insurance one at the plate. Again, discipline has been the key for teams playing the Little Dingys so far. Again, trying to take advantage of Luke Foster's pitching, as there he is with another ball. Has been playing better, though. I mentioned that, well, up until the collapse late in the game against the Blue Jays. As there's ball 3. So now you got the bases loaded, and the Bozos are starting to come into this game. Bases loaded, 2 outs, as we have another dude up to the plate. He's going to be left this time. Let's see. Luke struggled against lefties last week. That one, though, hits plate for a strike.
That's a strike, too.
Decides to lean into it. Luke can't get it. Declan throws to second, or at least he tried to. Did he get the out? Yes, he did. So the first inning ends, and the Bozos are left stranded. Great work there by the Little Dingys defense, already avenging what was a questionable outing last time. They're up 3-2 as we head to the top of the second. So a little bit of a mix-up here. I was at break, but the officials, aka Jordan Salazar, was thinking it was 3-all, but it was a force out, and Eric Matsumoto, being passionate for his team, the captain, of course, doing his job, said it was 3-2 as Kavish fouls us into the backstop. Kavish was the man that talked about maybe putting a beater, or at least telling everyone to get a beater on. Of course, I've got my sleeves rolled up, as he will send this to third. Little bobble, and the throw is in time. Close call, but Kavish could not get there. And you have to give credit to our third baseman. Doing pretty well so far. Here's Luke Foster. Knowing how he's played, I want to call him Big Tank. I don't know if that's the right nickname to use, but here's Big Tank. Swing and a miss. A 1. Inside, Luke makes contact, goes to shortstop, and a little bobble there, but the throw is still made. So once again, great work there by the infield, going 1 and 2, and Ian McKinney will look to get the Little Dingys onto the bases here. Low stance as this one is clipped to third. Our third baseman once again tries to make the throw. Did he get it in time? They're going to call it in time. I don't know about that call. I don't know about it, but nonetheless, 1, 2, 3, and for the first time, the Little Dingys are held hitless in an inning as they once again take the field. Beautiful day here at ASU Preparatory Fields. Has been a little interesting so far. Highs were in the 90s, I would say. It was a hot day overall. Some guys were sweating. I was not. I like this weather. I like this weather overall.
Give them the other bat.
So now we'll see a changing pitch here as we'll get Marissa Schleeper on the mound, Gianna Barker as our catcher, Finn Hogan taking a break. Finn, when are we seeing you next? When are you?
Shit, I don't know. Pretty soon.
All right.
Stand like that.
Yeah, I'm like back there. You gotta talk to Jordan a little bit. You gotta make sure like the camera's happy. So I need some good one-liners out of you. It's all part of the position. You know?
Yeah.
And now we see the Little Dingys back out there. So I didn't really highlight this before as Marcia Sleeper gets some pitches in. The outfield kind of remains the same as you got Henry in left, Abe in a deep center, Ian in shallow center, and then Eric moving out to right. Kyle has, quote, got an interview tonight. So it is Eric Matsumoto who was playing second base. He will be there in right field. Was getting some fielding practice, almost as an outfield. Almost pretend like baseball was the game jackpot in football. That's what the guys were doing. I did not participate.
Got it.
First pitch of the day from Marissa Sleeper. This one is sent deep to left field, back of the track, and gone. A solo shot, and just like that, the game is tied. Well, that's a victory celebration if I haven't seen one. So the Bozos were a little bit perplexed. They wanted it to be 3-all going into the second inning. Now they have made it 3-all. So one runner homers, not the best way to start if you're Marissa, but here we go. Second pitch from her. This one clipped up to the middle. Jack calls for it, and Jack's got it. I will say, though, pretty interesting game so far. A lot more discipline from both sides compared to a lot of loose play, especially on the offensive side from the past 2 games. And there's another swing. Oh, how about that? A swing and a miss. One more and Marissa's got a strikeout. Little too far. Little outside. Oh, but there's a swing and a miss. Slay Queen. That's what we like to see. 2 outs and Marissa Sleeper, save for the solo shot given up. Doing pretty solid. Now here's our third baseman. Zip there to center, and that's going to drop. Right in between Ian and Abe. And they just decide to let it go there. Solid cutoff, nonetheless. Marissa Sleeper from Jerseyville, Illinois, just sending that one a little inside. If you don't know where Jerseyville, Illinois is, think St. Louis. Think all the stuff that's there in St. Louis. And then think maybe 45 minutes northeast, that's where Jerseyville is. I credit the great Google Maps. Well, more like Apple Maps, whatever app you have on your phone for maps. That's what I credit it for. You never know. Jerseyville, Illinois. Andrew Durst, my roommate from Harrison, Arkansas. Never knew that was a place. Apparently Gideon made it famous, as there's another ball from Marissa. 2 runners on first and second, and you've got in the light green your third baseman. Arguably looks like the best player out there. This one zipped to center field. Abe tracks it, and Abe's got it. A little stumble there in the center field, but he is A-okay. So just like that, end of the second, Marissa Sleeper only allowing a 1 run, and that too, the first pitch, a solo shot. 3-all as we head to the third. Well, if you watch the majors, you're probably not used to this. Well, you haven't seen it in a while, I should say. But you got a pitcher batting. This one clipped up, and it's going to be an out. Unfortunate there for Marissa. And now you have Declan coming to the plate again.
I'm amphibious.
Was 13 in the lineup, now listed as 12. Again, the Little Dingys making sure everybody gets an opportunity. Everybody makes sure to have fun. As Declan clips us to third, throw is a little too high, and he's out. The first baseman hopped there. He's got to be safe. He's got to be safe. I don't know what the first base umpire's thinking there. And Andrew Durst, the man from Harrison, Arkansas, up to bat. I talked about Gideon earlier. I watched a Gideon video on YouTube. I think it's the one where he goes to Zoom in a bathtub. Pretty good stuff. A little bit inappropriate, but pretty good stuff. That one's outside. Of course, Andrew talks about Gideon. The great dude showed up at his high school a few years ago. Andrew takes a swing and a miss. Yeah, that one was close to the plate regardless, so I don't necessarily blame him. 28 minutes. To note, this one ends when it hits 50 or 7 innings as Andrew decides to clip it there. Does he get it to first? Yes, he does. Throw's not even made. So smart infield play made there by Andrew Durst. And now Jack McCarthy, who started off the hits, our leadoff man. So in essence, we're back at the top of the order. Declan on second, Andrew on first, and Memphis, Tennessee man Jack McCarthy will take the ball. It was just a little bit short there. One 0, and this one is popped up. Shallow left field, third baseman calls for it, and he's got it. Declan and Andrew stay where they are, so no extra outs made. So here's Jacob. Now we have a little change here, and Jacob is going to zip this into left. So here come the guys. Declan is heading home from third. Andrew will go to third. Jacob goes to second. Little change there as our third baseman was heading towards the right field area, and Jacob Mitkoff, smartly enough, decides to clip it off a reverse shot. And just like that, the Little Dingys have retaken the lead. Abe Mogelson, now up to bat, was the MVP in the first game against Enjoys in the outfield. Had a 3-run home run in the last inning before the Little Dingys gave up 4. Enjoys in the outfield won 13-12 that day. Here's Abe Mogelson, and from Minnesota, big Timberwolves fan. Got NBA play-ins starting tomorrow, and I was talking with Abe alongside Henry Smarto on what it's going to be like. He's very hyped up. And speaking of hyped up, he sent this towards the track, but it is caught. So just like that, you've got 3 outs on the day, but not before Jacob rips it into left field. And like that, the Little Dingys are up 4-3 as the boys come back. Well, I shouldn't be sexist that way. Well, Finn Hogan once again catcher. So interesting move here by Eric Matsumoto, as you have Luke Foster and Finn Hogan, that pitcher-catcher combo. And you also have Marissa Schleeper, Gianna Barker. That's another pitcher-catcher combo. Might have to get a little bit from Gianna. Catcher's a pretty easy job in the sense that you're just chilling out there.
Can you imagine you hitting the strike? Oh, get out. How many complaints you got for Jet? No, I think people love it. Really? Yeah. I picked favorites from. So like, I'd be a pro. That's a problem. Ready? Y'all ready? Let's go.
All right, so away we go. Once again, as I mentioned before, Luke and Finn back in the pitcher and catcher positions. Nothing else has changed so far. Batter up, and that's outside. I should mention that pending that the team keeps a 3 on their sportsmanship rating, they should get into the all-league tournament. Now, granted, there are only 4 teams, so it should be a pretty simple tournament compared to what we saw in Tempe with basketball, where you have the downtown schools, along with everybody else kind of being a confluence there in Tempe. It was an interesting game. If you want to check it out, you can check it out on my Instagram, MJ Sinhasan, as our batter heads there on ball 3. So second batter up. This has been a close game so far. So once again, we go back to Luke. 1-0. A little too short there. Again, Luke's got a pretty good underhand throw. He hasn't hit anybody today. Again, pray that my black tongue doesn't get me. Is this one zipped? Jack's got it. How about that? Our runner stays at first, so that's the only out of the day. But how about that?
Wow!
Thank you, Finn.
How many outs are there?
What? You got it.
To my point earlier, Jack McCarthy is talking with his roommate and our head coach, Eric Matsumoto. That is, Eric was saying that Jack needs to get some fielding practice after a dismal outing last week. Definitely showed it up there, catching the fly out. Inside, our batter thought about going for it. It was a smart move by him. There's another walk. First and second are occupied. Haven't seen that many hits so far. That's been a good sign for the Little Dingys as our next batter comes up. Another ball. The one thing I'd love to see in this system is the fact that you've got Luke sitting on the bench for one inning, along with Finn. Doesn't get to yell out how many outs there are. But nonetheless, it will be interesting to see how this team functions, especially knowing these guys are getting some rest. Maybe that rest is good. Maybe it can
I feel great.
play some trances. Thank you, Finn. So another walk allowed there by Luke, and
Loaded.
bases are loaded. The last time we saw this, Little Dingys got out of a jam, but here there are only 1 outs, not 2.
You got it.
Strikeout would be pretty big here, and there's strike 1. Luke Foster. Feels like a man ready to play. That one's a little too short. One. This one's made contact. Jack's got it. Run down is made. Jack McCarthy, right now, fielder of the day so far, catching the fly out, tagging the man as he tries to get back to second. And with that, we head to the next inning here at ASU Preparatory Fields. So now the famous Suey, aka Eric Matsumoto, up to bat. He splits the middle. That's a little suey for you. I like to have some suey for dinner. Suey soup, suey sandwich. What's something that's yummy that's S? Suey strudel. There you go. You got my appetizer, you got my entree, you got my dessert. Henry Smarto will allow the strike there looking, and he knows it. Again, Henry was thinking that Eric might have some bad blood, as you got your man who just got the single, Eric, on first. He is wearing the Giants cap, his favorite team of all time. And honestly, I have to agree with that. Orange and black teams are pretty good, as Henry is swing and a miss. So the Dodgers fan will head back to the bench. Or so it's...
First one was a strike. First one was a strike. It hit the plate. First one was a strike. He's out. He's out.
So Henry will be struck and out again. Just trying to clarify the rules here on this Monday night. No bad blood. In the words of Taylor Swift, no bad blood, no problems. And unlike Taylor, where she says, I don't think we can solve them, we can. At least it seems like it. Finn Hogan in the beater, in the Phillies cap. Although the Phillies took a loss to my Reds yesterday, it's still nice to see him repping his team, the reigning National League champions. Unfortunately, did not meet those idiot Astros. 1-0. Was a nice divot there by the pitcher. Apologies there, my phone was acting up. They've got some storage problems, as our runner's gonna head to second. Again, 2 easy outs. Still remains 4-3 in favor of the Little Dingys. Now there's a problem on whether or not our runner should have stayed at first. Now they're saying it might be a dead ball situation. I don't know. There's been a lot of discrepancies today between the players and the umpires. Nobody's being Angel Hernandez out here, but there have certainly been some problems today. And our first base, or rather, I should say our hitter will head to first base. Nice pitch by Marissa. I'll tell you what, even with all these interesting talks between the players and umpires, that's one thing that's been consistent so far. Did that hit plate? Almost did. I'll tell you what, Marissa's been pretty good. She's been consistent. I sound like a broken record, but it's true. 1-1, this one high up. One, or 2-1 that was. Now it's 3-1. Another walk. Left-handed pitcher. Let's see, or rather left-handed batter. Left-handed batter. There we go. That one outside. So a little bit of a change up. No pun intended there for Marissa. Left-handed batters have been interesting so far. Too far. Ball 3. Bases loaded. And now we got our man in the neon green shirt. Been playing third baseman today. Has looked pretty good. At least, especially from the third baseman spot. He's been zipping the ball like crazy. At bat now, swing and a miss. He was thinking about the grand slam, which would put the Bozos up by 3. 0-1. It's also important to remind you guys there is no pitch clock out here. Two, 1. He's hit by the pitch. Thought about charging, but he goes to first. So with that, it's a tie game, 4-all. 4-all here in what I think is the bottom of the 4th. Again, my phone was conking out earlier, so it does look like it's the bottom of the 4th though. I got no OBS out here, so there's no way I can change the graphics per se. But a beautiful night for some ASU intramural softball. Nonetheless, field looks much better than what we saw. This one zipped to the middle. Oh boy, almost hit Marissa. As here comes another runner. Second runner rounds third. He's heading for home. And our neon green guy will also head home. And our man's got an inside of the park home run. An inside of the park grand slam. And it's now 8-4 in favor of the Bozos. Now we got our captain for the team up to bat, Marshall Cross. He sends this one deep to left field, and that one is gone. Solo shot, and the Bozos have put up 6 runs, the most they have put up in a game this entire season. And no outs. Just when you think this team's doing well, the floodgates open up once again.
That's your own team right there.
Hey, we'll get them back.
I need this for parlay.
Ball 3.
What?
Never mind. Our man swung at it. 2-1. Oh, he decides to take it. Is that foul? Yeah.
Foul. Come back. You're out.
And he's out.
That was.
9:30. 9 minutes.
So 9 minutes left. Again, bottom of the fourth, and Bozos up 10-4. So it looks like our next inning should be the last inning here at ASU Preparatory Fields. Again, as I mentioned before, this is the last regular season game, and after that, we'll have a little postseason tournament.
Right here.
Ball 3. One out. 10-4. So our dude Clayton again. I think he and Eric Matsumoto might have some beef after this, because I remember Eric was talking about guys trying to get on the softball team, and Clayton was one of them, and Eric turned it down. This one is slinged in the left, and Henry bobbled it as our man in the purple shirt heads towards third. Off-kilter throw, and he's going to head towards home, or at least he thought so. He'll stop at third. A little bit of a revenge hit there for Clayton. Two outs, or rather, one out. Hopefully it's two. 1-0. Make that 2-0. And Sleeper on the mound, making her first start of the day. This one clipped in the middle. Marissa's got to go. She makes the throw towards first, and our man is safe. And our man in the purple shirt there at third base, I don't know if you can see him. My apologies for the camera angle. I'll zoom out there. Now you can hopefully see the entire diamond. My apologies for the camera angles there. But nonetheless, he's been trying to get home, and once again, cutoff was made. Bases loaded nonetheless. This one zipped to the middle. Ian tries to make the grab. Throw to second is good, but our man will head home in the purple shirt. So there's 11-4, but two outs. Corners painted. Clayton on third. Our other man on first. This one is sent deep to left field, and there's another home run. 3-run shot, and even the Bozos can't believe it. Thirteen to 4. In the great words of Eric Matsumoto, "Ay ya, kita nai." Three-run shot, so it is 14. Little mistake there. Ian tries to get to second. Throws made, but there was nobody there. So our man once again is safe. And our left-handed batter is up. I'll tell you what, if Marissa ends up pitching in this tournament next week, I'd love to see her just be more consistent with the pitches, because that's a really good pitch. This one has popped up. Gianna's got it. So there's 3 outs as it finally happened as we head to the 5th, but not before the Bozos rack on 11. The rally shoe is going back on my head as we head to the final inning here at ASU Preparatory Fields. It's the Bozos 14 and the Little Dingys 4. Back in the top of the 5th, final inning, and the Little Dingys have to match. Kavish gets on second. Again, I'm Mahir Sinhasan. If you can't see me, check out my Instagram. I probably look the closest to an extra from Duck Dynasty right now, especially since I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt rolled up to look like a beater. I've got half of the buttons undone, and I've got a shoe on my head, hoping the Little Dingys. So 2 outs so far, and it now comes down to Marissa Schleeper to keep this alive. Again, Kavish is out, and Luke is out as he was heading towards second. Team just evaded a double play as Marissa sends it towards the middle. Throw to first in time. And that's going to do it. The Little Dingys lose 14-4 on this Monday night as the Bozos end out the regular season unbeaten as they beat the Blue Jays 7-5. Drew Enjoys in the outfield 8-8 last week and now get 14-4. So again, we have that tournament next week in hopes of maybe the Little Dingys getting a chance at getting a win before the season is done. But in the regular season, they have gone winless. Teams are back out. Well, when I mean team, Eric is out, and now the rest will join them there. An interesting season so far for both teams as well, as they'll come meet up in the middle. Great sportsmanship here.
That's right, me here.
Great sportsmanship.
We won the moral game.
That's true. That's true. Great words there by Finn Hogan. Maybe he gets a chance to get some hits, along with many of the others, especially on the defensive side. That's going to do it from ASU Preparatory Fields. I'm Mahir Sinhasan. So long, good night, and stay safe.